what is something that you actually want people to know about Gibraltar?
Gibraltar is a good place. It's nice people there. They have the best of Spain in England.
It's not the kind of place that I can make out with anyone in the middle of the street and then expect to not get back to at least a family member. Luckily, inbreeding is not a thing, but I think it's definitely something you have to think a bit more about than in other places. I'm Alex, I'm from Gibraltar, I'm 28 years old and I'm a videographer.
My name is Rafa, I'm 27 years old. I'm starting to become an English teacher and I'm from La Línea de la Concepción.
Welcome to Gibraltar, one of the smallest countries in the world. Measuring under 7 square kilometers, it's located at the tip of the Iberian Peninsula, bordering with Spain and overlooking Morocco. Gibraltar has been, for over 3 centuries, a British overseas territory.
When I was younger, you could probably go through my Facebook and find some weird photos of me being 100% British in some national day or something. Since that time in my life, I've had a lot of time to mature, to grow as a person, to age, and understand that maybe even when I went to the UK, having it thrown in my face that I am British on a passport, yes, but my culture and my being is not British in the slightest. When I was on my way to the UK, I knew that I had a different kind of accent. I've always thought that I spoke English, but really, I think I don't necessarily speak Llanito.
Can you define what Llanito is?
It's so hard and it's such a difficult conversation. So it's, for me, a mixture between English and Spanish. ¿Te encontraste uno? Yeah, no? Did you find one? My personal connection to language definitely falls directly between Llanito and English. I couldn't really give you only just one, because if I drop something on the floor, I'm not going to react in English, I don't think.
How did Gibraltar become British in the first place? Following a Spanish Succession War, in 1704, British and Dutch troops swooped in and conquered Gibraltar to keep control of the Mediterranean. In exchange for Britain leaving the war, Spain officially handed Gibraltar over to the English crown with the Utrecht Treaty in 1713. Spain's attempt to regain the territory all failed through the centuries, but the country has always maintained somewhat of a claim on Gibraltar. The Rock held 2 referendums, one in 1967 and more recently in 2002. Both times, 99% of Gibraltarians voted to remain exclusively under UK sovereignty.
Most of people in La Línea, for example, feels that Gibraltar, in the bottom, on the inside, I don't know how to express it, is still Spain.
If you're given the question of, do I vote to be Spanish or do I vote to be British? Well, you connect to the thing that's maybe taken care of you for the last 300 years, no?
It's not really a point of contention, but it's definitely something that I think maybe with younger people now, they're starting to maybe not give up on the idea of being British, but sort of not feel so strongly about it, you know?
It's not like a massive discussion for us, I think, in general. I think people above us have had hardships and difficulties that were affected by whether they were British or not. Whereas our narrative is kind of I think we're all just existing and living together, no?
In the shadow of the Rock, 50 meters from the border, lies La Línea de la Concepción, the last Spanish town before the UK. La Línea has long held an unenviable reputation as the most troubled place in the peninsula. Along its 12-kilometer stretch of beach, where the Moroccan coast appears on the horizon, La Línea is the first port of entry for Europe's hashish drug trade.
Trafficking is everywhere. It's implicit. It affects most of the population here. It's probably La Línea have 60,000 people, more or less 70,000, and probably 20,000 are implicated in one way or another. We can say it, nobody say it, but it's there. What do you prefer? To work 8 hours a day in a supermarket, or to work 15 minutes and get in one night 3,000 euros?
The runway of Gibraltar's airport running through the width of the country, separates two different worlds living in symbiosis.
You can see the money with the amazing buildings, the ports. That's crazy. That's a huge difference between La Linea and Gibraltar. I would like to live there. Who knows? Who don't want to live there? Gibraltar, of course, is a very rich city. People from La Linea depends basically economically. Here in La Linea there is no work as much as in Gibraltar, and with the salaries of Gibraltar you go to there and you get a job. 10,000 more or less go to work in Gibraltar. We are living for the work, and that's not life. I'm not saying that the problem is from Gibraltar, because they are what they are, but we have to be something more, and by ourselves we cannot do it. We need something, we need help.
The municipality of La Linea has a 35% unemployment rate. Gibraltar, with a 1% rate, has one of the highest GDPs per capita in the world. The economy is fueled by a 10% corporate tax and VAT exemption, a combination in place since 2009 that attracts companies from all over Europe. Because of it, the number of businesses registered in Gibraltar doubles its residents. Economic ties and proximity make the two countries tightly linked to each other.
This is totally crazy, because we have different money. We have euros and pounds. You have another country that is so far from here, in the face of you, and it's like your neighbor, and people meet, and the culture is very mixed.
I look at Spain and I'm like, I don't know, half of my friends and my family are all related to people from Spain. They have grandparents, cousins, we all have friends in Spain as well.
Peace between Gibraltarians and Spain was threatened during the regime of Francisco Franco. The Spanish leader closed the border between the two in 1969. It was only reopened after Franco's death in 1985.
People used to go to the gates and then see their family member on the other side. And it's not like now when you get to the frontier and La Linea is just there. It was a bit more of a stretch.
So people would have children and they'd raise like the new child that the family member hasn't been able to see. Like, I think those are things that have been burnt into our memory from like the stories that we've been told by like family and friends and everything, but also like it's a discussion, it's something that's spoken about in Gib, like there's a lot of images of it. And I don't know, I think it definitely brought the local culture together a lot more than maybe they expected at the time.
A more recent event that shook Gibraltar was the UK's decision to leave the European Union. In the 2016 Brexit referendum, 96% of Gibraltarians voted to remain in the EU. The territory was not included in the post-Brexit deal governing the UK's relations with the EU. Instead, it has been operating on ad hoc arrangements, and for the time being, it still allows for free circulation of persons, although a permanent deal hasn't been reached.
Brexit has impacted my life, I guess, in two different ways. There's like an emotional side to it, and then there's the physical sense of like maybe it's more of a barrier in my life now. It's very annoying, I think, for anyone to be in a situation where they don't have control. And you live in a country that's like 96% voted against Brexit. It's really annoying to watch everyone else just tell you that you have to do the complete opposite to what you were very for.
It's something that gets in trouble Spanish people and Gibraltarian people, but they decide in England and in Madrid, or in Europe.
I've been my whole life a European, and everyone around me is, I guess, on European soil to a certain extent. And then one day everything just completely changes, and then we're in some weird limbo, waiting for other people to decide. So personally, I still and will continue to feel European.